What's good, beautiful people? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is OSN Olele Sauda Network. My name, of course, is Imano Kwame Sapon, but you can find me anywhere, everywhere at Olele Salvador. I'm excited to be back after a couple of weeks being away and working on a few things. But I'm excited to be back because I get to talk about arguably the trending album right now in the country. We are talking about Stonebwoy's Up and Running with the six on there to signify that this is indeed his sixth studio album. And so we'll be getting into the nitty gritty of this album. I had to take some time to listen to this album. It's been a week and a few days since the album dropped. And as part of this review, I did something different. I've lived with this album. I've played it in different moods. I've tried it in different settings just to really give it time to speak to me, during the course of the listenership. And I'm doing that. I did that because of the massive wave that came with the Fifth Dimension album, which you guys know was released last year. So I was curious to see where Stonebwoy would take us next. This sixth album is a statement. It's a statement about growth. It's about maturity, which most of you have already identified. But I also think it's a statement about experimentation. Okay, and when you listen to a track like Therapy, the first time I heard Therapy, my good brother Kofi Bitmenen, so bear me witness, when I called him and I told him, brother, I think this guy is onto something. He's stretching his tentacles. He's really stretching his range. And I feel like that song was Stonebwoy signaling us. I think he was just nudging us, telling us that, look, guys, I want to invite you to join me on this journey as I try to push, my sound into a new territory. And I believe this album, to some extent, did that. It almost continued the success of the Fifth Dimension, but I'll get into that. So let's dive into how this album opens, and you can see that this particular song, which happens to be the opener, has got a lot of people talking. It's got a lot of people hooked on the record. I'm sure many of you have, mashed up your replay button because it's definitely a song that you want to keep on replay. Psalm 23 is the song I'm talking about. That's the first track of the Up and Running album. And honestly, I feel like it's the perfect opener, if you ask me, because you're looking at a production. First, let's look at the production. You're looking at Sam Snare, who is pretty much known for his exploits with Black Sheriff and other, successful records he's produced for Amepiano and the likes. But you are looking at a production here that is rich, is layered and is blending hip-hop elements with Stonebwoy's iconic dance flow. Let me say an iconic dance flow because there's something about what Stonebwoy did with this record. It's not just about the lyrics. It's how he weaved, the lyrics and how he sang the song, or how he laid, these lines on the beat or that production. Obviously mixed and mastered by Master Gazi. And the song in itself has a spiritual resonance. It has a way of pulling you in. When you look at the hook, especially the hook, before we touch the road, 723, before we touch the road. Now, that line, that bit is what we call an earworm, hook, or an earworm line, or earworm verse, depending on how you want to look at it. It's something that can easily be recalled. It's that type of record that gets you in your feels. And it didn't come off as a surprise to see that the song would serve as both a prayer and a rallying call before we get into the album proper. It's a beautiful way to bless the food we're about to eat, all right? Because it talks about Stone and the mileage he's been able to accumulate and the extent to how his music has traveled and the hard work that has taken him beyond what haters, were looking to cup him by, and there's not really much to say. There's not really much to talk about. There's not really much to hold him back on, except for bringing hate to the table. That's what he's saying in Psalm 23. And that is why before he sets off, he knows that he's only accountable to Jah. Sheesh. He's only accountable to Jah. Who Jah bless, no man cares. I have a very favorite Bible verse that says that who is he that saith a thing will come to pass when the Lord has not approved of it. So Stonebwoy has gotten to a demigod level. I mean, he calls himself one God, but obviously he is relaying that information to the one who has made this possible. And you realize that even the Overlord record speaks of the same thing. All right. So it's only fair that he blesses this meal for us. Now, you look at how short the song is, 2 minutes and some change. But there's something we call brevity. Brevity also means concise. It's on point. All right. And that trick that often comes with records like this or such records is what makes you want to replay it. The way it is just about 2 minutes and 22 seconds, it hits home and you can't have enough of it. It makes you want to hit the replay immediately. All right. So beautiful intro to the album, beautiful record for that matter. And I believe that this song should be able to get a nod for record of the year beyond the other, possible, or shall I say obvious nominations. I think this song should be able to get record of the year. Then the next song we have there is Memories. Now let me tell you something about Memories. You see, in every album, Stonebwoy seems to leave a song for We the Lover Boys. In fact, this album, yeah, you hold on for me. Hold on for me. Let me talk about Memories. I feel like this is where it's just track 2, but I feel like this is where the album peaks. Yeah, I know Your Body is there, I know Geography is there, but I feel like this, when the song was released as a single, I didn't really, really pay attention to it. I would listen to it, haphazardly, just running through. But when I listen to it from an album's perspective, there's a way you consume an album, right? So you have Psalm 23 giving you a strong start. Then you enter into Memories. Ah la la. Listen, for those of you who are not too much into the music biz or too much into the, the musicality of such composition, me, I'm not all that. I'm not all that. I'm still learning. But let me tell you, listen, the production on this record is a masterclass. It's not just a masterclass in its offering. It's a masterclass in collaboration. From the producers to the songwriters to the talents themselves. When I say the talents, I mean the voices, Stonebwoy and I. Now let me tell you something. The producers of Memories, there are 2 producers for that matter, and they are both Dutch, right? So you have Dave Nunes, right? Now Dave Nunes is a DJ and a producer who is known for blending Afro, Caribbean, and some Latin American influences, right? So you hear that in the production. Dave finds a way to lay down that gentle, almost tropical foundation, right? Then you have Robin Yarrow. Now, when I did my little research on Robin Yarrow, he is actually an R&B singer, producer, all right? Now, this guy, when you listen to some of the songs he's produced and some of the songs he's sang and some of the features he's been on as an artist or as a singer, you can tell that Monko, the R&B, it is very what we call intoxicating. That guy, his R&B is something in the inside. And you can tell that this Memories record, most of the production magic came from Robin Yarrow. You see that warmth. There are layers of warmth that just envelop you when you listen to what you may call it, Memories. But that's not all. Memories also seems to have an interpolation. When I did a few checks and I spoke to some of my senior men, listen, the interpolation game on Memories, next level. Abuzigi, Stonebwoy, listen, whoever A&R this record, and listen, this is why I want you guys to understand what's going on in Memories. Memories is not just any record. Memories is actually a sweet record. I'm telling you. Those of you who used to listen to R&B back in the day, or if you like, ask your people who were R&B fans back in the day and ask them about this record, Faded Pictures by Case and Joe. That song was interpolated in Memories. That song is a 90s classic. That song was interpolated in Memories to make it feel completely fresh. Now, I'm not too sure how the clearance of the sample went, but I am sure that Case and Joe will hear this record and they would be amazed. They would be amazed. Now, remember I told you that Dave Nunes, the producer, seems to have Afro-Caribbean, Latin influences. Okay, now hold that thought for a second. IR Size. Now, when I read about IR Size, the first time I'm getting to know him, right? When I read about him and I did some research on him as well, IR Size or IR Size, he also seems to have some Latin Caribbean influences in his songs. In fact, he has there's a song he has that went super, super global, super viral. Dream Girl. Now, Dream Girl is a song that IR Cyrus, put out um, a few years ago in 2019. It has over 136 million streams on Spotify alone. 2019. And so to be able to have this guy come on a production, which obviously has that type of, foundation, was a masterstroke. Look, Stonebwoy was singing. It was in my capillaries and arteries. But to pair these two on a record like that, to really bring out that R&B out of the fella, because Stonebwoy be a hard guy, but he has a way of making love songs that really want you to lay back and just really, really enjoy yourself. So I Outsize as a feature on this record was a brilliant recommendation. It's not just about how his vocals were complementing Stonebwoy. It's about how they created this perfect harmony that feels natural. Like the way they took turns, Stonebwoy will sing his parts in English and some parts in Chi, and IRSIs will just come with its own, Yo, I strongly believe that, if there is budget for the song, the marketing should enter the Latin, area. You understand? So that man's feet get some, attention in that area. All right. The more I listen to the song, the more I'm able to feel the vulnerability of Stonebwoy. Definitely you could taste the maturity as well in his voice, in his approach. And to be very honest, I wish we got more of this vibe throughout the album. That's just me. And I'll explain. I'm enjoying this record like this. Stonebwoy, you start me well like this. Then all of a sudden, bro, I had to skip that record. I had to skip it immediately because what? I know one more finish. They are come to jam me with. Hey, I'm not in the mood for JJ at this moment, bro. I'm in the mood for some real good love music. And this is where I have a little challenge with this album. We need to talk about the album sequencing because I'm settling into this mellow vibe from Psalm 23 and Memories. Then JJ just comes and hits me from nowhere. Listen, let me be clear. JJ is not a bad song. It's a solid track on its own. It's got the right energy. It's got the right hook to get people go gaga. But the placement, a song like that at number 3 is jarring. It's jarring. I mean, it has a way of pulling you completely out of that contemplative atmosphere. The first 2 tracks built up. It's like at one point in time you were having this reflective, slow, vibe jam. Lovey-dovey, talking to your partner, singing to your partner. Feeling the groove and everything. Then boom. It catapults you into the club. Why? Cool down for me. Eh? I mean, as soon as it got there, I mean, it's like, you see, this is the kind of sequence that makes you reach for the skip button or even the shuffle button. Because, bruh, I will talk more about JJ and what I think about JJ on this album. Because I'm thinking, what if Stonebwoy had fully committed to this 90s inspired lovers rock R&B angle? I mean, we've seen him do some reggae stuff. We've seen him do but what if he committed to that? Look at tracks like Lovely Weather. Now let me go through the track. Look at tracks like Lovely Weather, Your Body, Geography, Better Things. If hold that thought first, I'll come to Better Things. But look at tracks like that. You could tell that they all flirt with this style, but they didn't really fully, or the album didn't really fully embrace it in terms of the arrangement. All right. And I would love to see Stonebwoy Give us a full project like that. No giddy giddy. No pull up kind of thing. Nah, just give us that, memories, your body, lovely weather, geography. Yes. Jale, the boys have been hard for long. Give us some, I think that could have been game changing for him. I think it would have redefined his sound and showed, his fans a whole new dimension of his artistry. Talk about therapy, but on a bigger scale, as it were, with a body of work. All right, as it were, the body of work. So I mean, listen, it's it was pretty hard for me to include JJ in that experience. I had to walk past. And talking about even track arrangement, like, let me also, because of time, I just want to run through some of these things. This is not going to be a breakdown or a reaction to lyrics. I'm I'm addressing and I'm reviewing, or I'm stripping the album for you to go do your own list, especially of course the copyright aspect that comes to playing the songs here. So I'm just giving you like a theoretical practical aspect of how to enjoy the album. I did something at the end and I'll show you to you when I'm done. Still talking about track arrangement. Let's talk about Pray For Me as well. Pray For Me is the last song on the record, but here's the issue. I feel like when Psalm 23 started, or with how Psalm 23 started, he already carried that spiritual weight perfectly, right? And I feel like it made Pray For Me feel redundant, right? Psalm 23 is a stronger track, both in production and thematic depth. Although a few, you know, differences were there, but in terms of the thematic depth, both of them sweet. But if you ask me between the two, Psalm 23 is definitely the stronger track. I feel like the album might have been stronger without Pray For Me. I think so. I feel like you need to let Psalm 23 have that moment, that definitive spiritual moment. Yeah, he has to have that. And apart from JJ, there's also Ekelebe. Let me tell you something. These two tracks, yeah, I feel like they should have been on their own two-track EP. Or maybe we should have saved it for the album's high energy finale. You guys understand what I'm saying? Like when I listened to the album, I felt like the album was crying out for a side A, side B treatment. When you listen to episodes of Mama, if I'm not mistaken, it kind of like had a side A, side B treatment. I feel like this album could have done similar, especially with the matured sound that Stonebwoy is given, especially coming on the back of Faith Dimension, right? So in this case, there should have been one side for the introspective R&B inspired Stonebwoy or lavish rock inspired Stonebwoy. Then the other would have been for the dancehall bangers. But what do you guys think? I think there should have been a side E and a side B part of this album. So you listen to the side A, it draws you in, and then it prepares you for the side B where it's about to go down. All right. So that Mete A and R Max no kakra. I would have given them the full 5 but Mete so about 3. But still on the A and R conversation, when we talk about the features and the production section, of course, I've talked about some of them, some of the songs that I mentioned earlier, like Memories and what do you call it, Lovely Weather, Geography. Geography, what these guys did on Geography, my goodness. Yo! Black Hero, Ching Ching, Kaylan Arnold, and of course Stonebwoy himself. Produced by TK Kayamba and Blake. Fantastic record. Brilliant record. Listen, every feature on this album was absolute masterclass. Everybody nailed it. Every artist came with their unique sound. They came to add something unique without overshadowing Stonebwoy, and that's the beauty of this project in terms of the features. I'm not too sure about why LaRusso is the only Ghanaian on there, but I'll get there. But everybody who featured from Psalm 23 to Pray For Me, in terms of features, bam, correct. In terms of production, global, masterclass. All right. But one of the features that I also want to highlight, apart from Geography and also apart from what you may call it, I'll come to Danga Mighty as well. But One of them is what is going viral on Twitter right now. Sorry, on TikTok right now, and that is Jiggle Whine with Spice. My goodness. And if we can also, and if we listen, the Ghana Jamaica connection continues to bring pure fire. Whether it's a Stonebwoy, whether it's a Shatawale, whoever, whether it's episode Jupiter, that Ghana Jamaica connection, you can always tell, say, we were Siamese twins and we got separated for some reason. First of all, let's talk about the production from Mix Master Gazi. Fascinating production. He revealed on our show, Culture Daily Big Conversation, that the production, i.e., the beat, right? He produced that beat 11 years ago, and that beat was supposed to be a dancehall rhythm. And you look at what Stonebwoy and Spice did on it, it sounds fresh. It sounds fresh as tomorrow. But there's another interesting, thing we identified on there, and it's the horns. The horns sound very regimental. It sounds very marchy. Like, oi, oi, get up, we want to go. Hey, march, hey, left, right, left, right. Yeah. But if you listen carefully, you hear real to real, I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to, yeah, man. You hear that in there. You hear those horns remind you of pom 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 pom. Those horns definitely remind you of real to real. I like to move it. It's a song that was also released in the 90s as well. So you can clearly tell that a lot of work had gone into the production of this album. All right. So imagine real to real. I like to move it. Nostalgia, but flipped for 2024. That's what you have in Jiggle and Whine. So I'm not surprised that it's blowing up on TikTok as we speak, and I hope they have enough marketing budget to expand, extend, and cross the barriers of the continent. Another song I also want to talk about is Shine. Now, Shine, and I'm on piano record. Stonebwoy is not a foreigner to Amepiano records. He showed us that in Fifth Dimension. But here's a little thing I observed to Shine. I think there was a missed opportunity here. I felt like Dope Nation would have played a fantastic role here in Shine. When you listen to Shine as an Amepiano record, I feel like with what is going on with Dope Nation and how they are spearheading Ghana piano as it were a local representation of the Amepiano sound, and they've made it ours in terms of they've localized to the point where you can actually hear the difference between South Africans Amepiano, which is the home of Amepiano, and Ghana's Amepiano. All right, they've been able to tweak the sound very well to make it ours. I feel like Dope Nation could have been on this record, on this Shine record, either as featured artists or as producers. I feel like the approach to Amapiano would have given this track a deeper local resonance, at the same time boosting its global appeal. I feel like the sound would have been able to resonate strongly down here, and you could have added to another commercial or possible commercial success in terms of the range, in terms of the reach, beyond Jeje and Overlord and Ekelebe. Shine could have Shine has that possibility. I'm not saying it cannot do well on its own. I'm just saying that there was an opportunity that was missed here, to tap into what, because Dope Nation's Ghana Piano singles so far, all of the singles so far coming up from that project are everywhere. There is no DJ in Ghana at the moment who goes for a set and does not play 2 out of 3 Dope Nation Ghana Piano records. And beyond that, there's also an opportunity to empower, industry and lift industry, because obviously Stonebwoy may have the machinery and may have the exposure to transport and translate, what's happening down here to other markets and to other, so it will be able to bring back that focus and that spotlight back to Ghana. And I think that is what a song like Shine may have missed, in terms of, not putting people like what do you may call it, Dope Nation on. That's just my view. I mean, you guys can tell me what you think about that. I mean, better 10, obviously, You have a collaboration with Duncan Mighty. Fantastic. It's solid. And it's in fact it's a classic Afrobeats record that doesn't try to be anything else. It's not spectacular. Yeah, it's just and sometimes that's exactly what you need. You don't need to do too much. It's just Duncan Mighty, senior man, Stonebwoy. I'm sure on Stonebwoy on a record with a man that he obviously reveres. Duncan Mighty was on our show. He actually did reveal that Stonebwoy was an amazing person to work with. There are more songs on the way. He also looking forward to have Stonebwoy on his album as well. And listen, the production quality on that record, just throughout the album as it were, impeccable. Sweet, 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 sweet. I mean, better thing does not situate itself for Stonebwoy to prove himself. Okay, because he's on a record with Duncan Mighty. So there's this thing I've noticed about Stone anytime he features an OG or a legend in the music sphere. I noticed that he focuses more on his delivery. He focuses more on getting the job done, getting the work done, rather than trying to be noticed. I don't know if I'm making sense, right? He from Angelique Kidjo to Kojo Entry to man, how have I forgotten some of these names? But I'm sure some of you have seen or this name that Stonebwoy has worked with. There's this senior man in oh man, I'm so sorry. I can't remember. But yeah, I think it's still that representation we see here on an album where Duncan Mighty is featured on. So after 1 week and a few days with Up and Running 6, I I'm sitting here with mixed feelings. Stonebwoy is definitely looking to push boundaries, and like I said, he's asking us to see him as more than just a dancehall artist, which of course he identifies as an Afro dancehall artist. All right, but the beautiful thing about this is he's not done yet. He's still evolving. And he wants you, the audience, to evolve with him. Now, there is something that we often notice in the music sphere. An artist starts from a particular angle. He starts from a particular journey, takes off, and often the fans are left behind because they want to see that artist in that space where they knew him. You see, if you are looking forward to see your artist grow, you are looking forward to see your artist become global, and he is doing that. He is putting his best foot forward, using all the resources available to become that. You, as the follower or the audience or the listener, you also need to train your ear. You also need to be open-minded to receive from this same artist the matured sound and the growth of his produce, or else you'll be left behind. Because if you listen to tracks like Memories, sweet work. And I feel like every album, Stone would introduce some of these records to send a message. He keeps sending a message. He keeps sending that signal that guys, I'm going into this direction. But I also think that boy, you may have to be daring and let the fans catch up. Like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing you do an album that is not easily identifiable by you. Fans need to evolve with their artists. Stonebwoy is telling you that he wants you to evolve with him. All right. But this album definitely has glimpses of brilliance. And I've mentioned some of the tracks to you. I've mentioned Psalm 23. I've mentioned Memories. I've mentioned Geography. I've mentioned Your Body and Shine, Lovely Weather. Lovely Weather. Avoid a single. There are glimpses of brilliance in there. Um, but I think the lack of thematic cohesion, holds this album back from reaching its full potential. That is just me. That's just me. I think that, how the album was arranged and some of the songs could have been, like I said, could have been left, at the latter part, or it could have been split into a side A, side B, or it could have been treated differently or put aside for another project as well. It's an ambitious project, but I just feel like it's a collection of experiments, like individual experiments than a unified statement. If you listen to what Fifth Dimension did and you listen to this, you can tell the difference that this felt like my ancestor being boom sort of thing. Although the works or the records here are amazing, stellar. I mean, at this point in time, Stonebwoy is never going to drop the quality of the production. Every song in here is a banger, but for a body of work, That's cohesion I speak of. It's not there, and it holds the album back from reaching its full potential. Um, but don't forget, Stonebwoy is definitely showing us different faces of himself with what we've heard. But I feel like with a bit more focus, these pieces could have come together into something truly defining. Once again, Up and Running is not a bad album. I am telling you that based on my listening experience, it could have been better with some cohesion, right? But regardless, I think it's still a solid addition to his catalog, um, which one may say or one may argue that is a window into his evolving artistry. But I feel and I think that is not yet the landmark project I believe he has in him. So, how do I rate this album? I think this album gets a 7.5 out of 10 from me. The 2.5 that's left is just the arrangement of the album, the listening experience. Once again, it's not a single, it's not an EP, or even an EP. Even EPs these days have structure and cohesion. The cohesion is very necessary. The cohesion is very necessary. Every other thing, sweet. But of course, I want to hear from you. But before I do that, I decided to rearrange the album in a playlist. All right, I decided to rearrange the album in a playlist, and I'm going to share that play. I'm going to put that link, in the description box, and you guys can listen to the album in that rearranged manner, just to back my argument. Just to back my argument, or just to back this review or this episode of Stripped, and let me know what you think. All right, I want to hear from you. How would you have sequenced these tracks? What would you say was your favorite moment on the album? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and please don't forget to like and subscribe for more in-depth music reviews as they come along and as they come your way. My name, of course, is Emmanuel Kwame Sapon, but you know where to find me anywhere, everywhere at Olele Salvador. And thank you so much for taking time to listen to me talk about music, the way I do. You notice that it's a bit different from what you are used to, and that's because there are other people doing great things. Shout outs to Headless YouTuber, shout out to Kojo Sheldon, shout outs to what do you call this guy, Lucas Trends. All these guys doing great work, breaking down, doing reactions and stuff like that. But over here at OSN, this is how we present the music to you. This is how we present, and shout out to Code Mickey as well. This is how we present them. And if you guys want me to do more of a lyric breakdown and what Stone or what your artist was trying to say, tell your artist that we are in 2024. When they drop their records or they upload their records, they should add lyrics, because there's no way I'm going to assume somebody said this when they actually meant that. It helps in breaking down the lyrics and telling you, imagine you don't understand part one. How would you understand most of the things that were said? Shout out to Stonebwoy for also making sure that every point in time when he's doing the singing, he's not just singing in a language that, the Caribbean may understand, but also bringing it back home, singing it either Ever or Tree. Sweet. Shout outs to all other artists, doing that as well. So if you're looking for a piece or an upload or an episode or any other episode where I get to get into the lyrics proper, let me know. But for me, this is how I consume albums, and this is how I'm able to really come up with a critical review, an objective review for that matter. Thank you so much, guys, for being a part of this video. I hope it was worth your while. Don't forget to share this video, moments in this video that you may like. Don't forget to share it on your socials as well, and link people back to the episode. Until I see you same time in the next upload, please take care of yourselves. Don't forget to stream Up and Running 6. Bye bye.